Hi, you're in the kitchen with Mama, and I'm either cooking or baking. So today I'm going to be making some fresh pinto beans. First things first, you got to clean them. I personally don't like the broken beans, so I put them aside. I don't put them in there. And what I'm actually looking for is little clumps of dirt. So I make sure I go through every single little bean. Make sure the bean's not ugly, rotten, or just doesn't look pleasing to the eye. Anything that's broken, any shells, any clumps of dirt, that's what I'm looking for to get rid of. And it's just preference, you know. A lot of people leave the broken ones in there. I just personally don't like it because it does collect a lot of dirt on them. So I'm trying to look at that to make sure that they don't have so much dirt on them. Even though I'm going to wash them by hand, I still would like, to get rid of those. I don't. And that's all to making beans, really. It's just to make sure, of course, the spices as well, but just for a simple bean, like I'm going to make today, you don't need, and there's so many ways you can make beans. Just this one regular basic bean, you can make borracho beans, you can make charro beans, refried beans, beans of chiplote, beans with pig's feet, with sausage, with wieners. I mean, it just depends where you're from. Would depend on what you put on there. I mean, I'm Tex-Mex. I'm all Tex-Mex, but I cook different. I cook the beans so many different ways, because I just want to try different cultures or different ways of cooking, beans. From depends where you're from. So if I find a new recipe, I definitely will try it. If I think it's interesting enough that I'm gonna eat it. I don't want to waste making some beans or something and then I'm not gonna eat them. The chipotle, all you need is just one chile because it's super, super spicy. It depends how much spice you like. My favorite are borrachos. And I also like a little juicy smashed beans. I like them refried as well. And this right here is just a pound of beans. That's all it is. I'm not making a big old powder or anything. And what I'm going to do after rinsing them, I am going to soak them in water. When you soak them in water, they get done a little bit faster than it will be. And depending on the pot that you use as well, will determine how your beans come out. Yeah, so I didn't find any rocks. The fresher the bean, the softer and the better color your beans are going to be. And basically, it's just dark ones that I found today that I don't like the way they look, and broken up beans, little skins of the beans and stuff. That's all that I found today. Sometimes I'll find little clumps of dirt and stuff, but this is all to the beans right now. Just make sure that there's no dirt in it or anything. So we're going to wash them right now. Okay, so now we're just going to make sure. I usually scrub the beans in between my hands. Kind of like if I'm washing a rag or something, because I'm scraping off any dirt that are on the beans. I'm not going to get every single piece of dirt, but as much as I can get out of it, I will definitely do that. And then what I do, I soak them in water. So that'll help it also get rid of any dirt that I might have missed here. And you can soak them overnight. Try to soak them at least 2 hours. And that'll cook a lot faster on the stove when you cook them. Now, on a regular pot, they come out a little juicy. On a Dutch oven pot, they come out juicy, but the juice itself is a little thick. And I like that. So I'm going to be making them in the Dutch oven today. Okay, that's enough for me for this. Okay, and that's warm water there. If you leave them overnight, the beans are going to expand, which is good. It's a good thing for them to expand. So this right here will expand, but it's 8 o'clock, so I probably won't start till 4 hours from now. And you can see some of the skins are floating from after I scrubbed them. And some of these are falling off. And I'll take them off. I'll look real quick. Most of the little skins will float and stuff, which is fine. So I'm going to leave them soaking for about 4 hours. And then I will throw away this water, give them a quick rinse, and then I'll start cooking them. Okay, it's been soaking for 6 hours. And they have expanded, which is what I want. And you can see by them soaking, it took off a lot of the dirt that I didn't take off when I first washed them. So that's what you want. You want to get rid of all that. And that's what's going to give you a beautiful color on them. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and drain them. Okay. Just give it a quick rinse. Take off any last minute dirt that it has from it soaking. A lot of it went down the drain, but they're a lot thicker than they were before. They absorbed some of the water and it made them expand. And as you can tell, they don't make as much noise as they did earlier because they were drier. Right now there's moisture in them. Okay, so now, since I've already drained the beans, I'm letting them drip for a little bit. I'm going to cut up some sausage. I'm going to add sausage today. This is going to be andouille Cajun style sausage. And this one gives it a real good flavor. It smells good just by opening the package itself. It smells really good. And you can put as much or as little as you want of the sausage, but I'm going to go ahead and slice it instead of bacon. This is what I'm going to do because I want the flavor. And then after cutting it, I'm going to toast it in here. And I'm going to leave the grease in there. I added 2 tablespoons of oil to the Dutch pan or pot. And that'll give me get the sausage from sticking to the bottom. Okay, I think I want a little bit more. Let me start the heating up of this pan. Okay. And you can use any sausage you like. This is what I just prefer because it gives it more flavor. I'm not sure if you can tell, but it has spices in it right here. It's a little specks right there. And it has other little red spices in there. This is a good sausage. I like when I'm making red beans and rice. This is a sausage I like using for andouille sausage. Tastes really, really good. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to start toasting the sausage. And while that is toasting, I'm going to cut up some onion to throw in there as well. Yeah, I just turned on the heat to this, so it's not very hot, so that's why you didn't hear a sizzle. And I'm just giving the knife a quick rinse, nothing too much. And you can use either yellow onion or white onion. This is just what I prefer myself. And I'm only going to do half. I'm not going to do all of it. Now, if you don't know how to cut an onion, I'm not sure if you can tell on this right here. See how it has little green lines or what have you? You're going to cut along all across this way. The first time you're just basically creating little slices of the onion. Smells good in here already, and it just started cooking on the sausage. That sausage tastes, not only does it smell good, but it tastes really, really good. Now you can add just about anything to these beans. It depends if you want to make them spicy, if not, or if it's just for flavor. totally up to you. Okay. Let me get that a quick mix. That smells good. Okay, and then turn the onion the opposite way from what you were slicing. And that will cut you the nice little cube, depending how small you want it. Or if you want to cut it wider, totally up to you. But this onion is huge. So this is what I'm going to throw into the beans. And that's just me. Might just use part of it because it's a lot. It's a huge onion. I don't need that much. Now normally I probably put some fresh garlic and fresh cumin. The cumin seeds after I crush them and everything. But I don't have any fresh. I do have powder. So that's what I'm going to be using today is the powder. Now just like with any time that you cook, do not add so much of the spices. And you can always add spices. You can never take the spice out after you've added to it. Okay, let me give you a quick little twist here. Just added the onion to the sausage here. And it's sticking to the bottom. And that's fine. That's not a problem. Now let it do that. Because all that at the bottom, once you add the water, it's a lot of good flavors there. It's all from the onion, from the sausage. So start small on your spices because this sausage alone has a lot of flavor. And I just wanted to get it a little caramelized on this onion, just get it sweating a little bit. Now to that, I'm going to add, I couldn't find the pork skins that are in the yellow little container that are extra crunchy, a little hard. I couldn't find that. So I'm going to throw in some that are semi-hard, but not as hard as I would like them to be. But some of these, as you can tell, have a little bit of fat to it right there, and that's what I want. That is flavor right there. Okay, and then to this, get some of this onion off. I'm going to add the beans. And then to the beans, I'm going to add water. And just fill it up about a quarter away from the top. Always keep water with you on the side so in case it dries out, you can add it quickly and you don't have to be waiting for it to fill up. Now all this is going to add flavor to this. To this, I'm going to add, let me get my tablespoons here. How cute are these? These are Pioneer Woman tablespoons. Got a little bird, a little flower, butterfly, and a heart. These are cute. I like them. Okay, so to this, I am going to add a tablespoon to start off with of the Knorr pollo. And this is what Knorr pollo is. It's just the bouillon, the chicken bouillon. I've never used the cubes. So I'm going to just start off with 1 tablespoon of that. Like I said, I can always add more spice to it. So I don't need to start off real heavy with everything. You know, I just start off with 1 tablespoon. Of course, if I was making something smaller, then I would go smaller. Okay, tablespoon of the cumin. And these are just basic beans, nothing to it. and a tablespoon of the garlic powder. Let's give that a mix. Now to this, to get that beautiful red color on the beans, I add tomato sauce. Now the difference between this pan right here, or this pot, this is a Dutch oven pot, and a regular pot is the thickness. This is actually made out of cast iron. The other ones is just real thin, I guess metal it's made out of. Cast iron is very thick and it holds the heat evenly, which is perfect, and it cooks things a lot faster. If I do not want to continue cooking whatever I'm cooking on here, I can transport this to the oven. Let me go ahead and get a tomato sauce. Just going to get a little can opener here. Okay, let's give this a little mix. This also gives it flavor, but it gives it that beautiful color. See how the water's already turning? A beautiful color. And I'm going to put the whole can. If I was making less, then of course I'd be putting a lot less on there. And what I usually do, I rinse the can, since I got to rinse it anyway for the recycle. And since I'm rinsing for the recycle, I might as well just use the juices from it. And it's clean for me to put it in the recycle, but plus I get that extra tomato sauce in here. So I'm going to give this a taste of the broth. Actually, I never taste anything that's raw, but since the bean is not going to harm me, I mean, it is raw, but it's not like a meat. And the sausage, I already cooked it, so it's not going to hurt me any. And I'm tasting to see if I need to add any spices. Okay, I'm going to add, has plenty of garlic. Add a little bit more of the Knorr pollo. The reason I don't add salt, because this Knorr pollo right here, the bouillon, has plenty of salt in it. So there's no reason for me to salt my dishes. It's rare that you see me salt anything. And if I do salt something, it's probably going to be on my plate. And it's not going to be something I cook here that I added the spice to it. Now, people make the mistake of tasting the bean to see how salty it is. But in reality, you need to taste the juice from it, because the juice is what's going to absorb into the beans. So that's what's going to give the bean the flavor. But the bean takes a while, since it's hard, it takes a while for it to absorb any of the flavor. So if you're going to be spicing it up, taste the water, the broth from it. That'll indicate how many spices you need to add more, if it's to your liking or not. Okay, give this a little taste over here. Much better. I do taste the garlic. I think I'm going to add a little bit more of the cumin. So far I've done 2 tablespoons of the Knorr pollo. And I did 1 tablespoon of the garlic powder. And I'm going to do 2 tablespoons total of the cumin. And that's all I'm going to do. Unless I add more water, at that point I'll taste it and see if I need to add any more spices. But for now, this is all I'm going to add to it. Keep an eye on it. Don't just, it does have a lot of water, but this water evaporates quick. So make sure that you keep an eye on it every 10 minutes or so. Come check on it. Give it a little mix. Make sure it's not sticking to the bottom of the pan or pot, whatever you're using. because they do heat up and forget about it. It's happened, especially to my rice. It's happened once or twice to my beans. Okay. Now the water is tasting to the spice that I like. Okay. I soaked it. I started at 130. Let's see how long it takes in the Dutch oven for it to clean. I was thinking about cleaning. For it to cook. Cover it. And keep an eye on it because it's going to start boiling even more once the lid is covered. And it'll start spilling to the sides and everything. Just keep an eye on it. Come back in 10 minutes. It's been 30 minutes since I started cooking the beans. And they are tender. They still have a bite to it. They still need to cook some more. But they cook a lot faster when you soak them. At least get them to soak a few hours. It's better if you soak them overnight, but if you don't have the time, a few hours would do. But just give it a quick mix. Make sure you scrape the bottom, make sure nothing's sticking. If you need to add more water, then add more water at this time. But we'll be back in about another 30 minutes. Okay, it's been another 10 minutes. It smells good. Probably end up adding a little bit more of water to it. Just taste to see what these. Show you how soft they are already, and it's only been. This one's a little hard. See, and there's some that are. Ooh, that one was hot. Yeah, that one's soft, but it still have a bite. See how that one? Oops, it fell. This one has a little. You can smash it already with your finger. You see, it's smashed. But the beans are tasting good. I'm gonna cook it for. Just add a little bit more water. I'm gonna give it another 10 minutes from now. And let it cook. Look how pretty the color is to the water. I love that color. And like I said, the longer you cook them, the more thicker the juice becomes. Kind of like a little gravy. And I like that. I like that thickness to it. As I'm doing this, I'm scraping the bottom. Just so I can make sure I scrape off all the good flavors there is. Okay, I'm going to cover this back up. And I'm going to put the timer for 10 minutes. And I'll be back in 10 minutes. And I'm checking it every 10 minutes. Just to make sure that it doesn't run out of water. Because the temperature is real high. So I don't want the water to run out. Okay, so I'll be back in 10 minutes. Okay, so I started at 1:30 making the beans that I had soaked. It is 2:24. So it is less than an hour. So let's just say a whole hour. In a whole hour, these beans are cooked. I turned off the heat. They're a beautiful color. And you can take off the sausage and the pork skins if you like. You know, because they're all floating, so it's just easier just to scoop them up. But I don't. I'll leave them there. I like eating them. But this is done. You have a basic pot of beans here. And from here, I'm going to actually make some tostadas today. Trying to see right here. I'll let them cool. Just a little sausage here. A little pork skin. And I got me a clean spoon, so this has not been in my mouth. I'll let it cool just a little bit. Let me see here. It is super hot. But let me show you how tender they are. Let me get a different spoon. I still haven't, that's a little too hot, so I still haven't, let me show you how soft it is. See, look. Oh, I'm trying to hold it here. I don't want it to bend. Simple. They're smashing super simple. I'm barely putting any pressure on there, and they're smashing. And if you want it, see, super easy. They're smashing. I'm not even putting any kind of pressure. And like I said, you could scoop these out if you want. You could eat them. Eat the little sausage to it. All that is just for flavor, but I like eating it. Look how pretty that juice is right there. And the beans are kind of blonde looking, kind of white, a little off-white. They're real pretty colored. They're not, you don't get that dirty water look when you don't rinse them the proper way. They get this dirty, nasty, dirty, like if you're basically eating dirt. That's what it looks like. It's dirty looking. But this is what a simple pot of beans should look like. Real pretty, nice and blonde looking beans. Right here, kind of a little off-white. And the juice to it, it's a beautiful color. Okay, this is all to making a pot of beans. I'm going to go sit down and enjoy a pot of beans and with some fresh tortillas. Don't forget to subscribe. Invite your friends to my YouTube. Invite your friends to my Facebook. I'm going to leave the links for the recipe for the beans. I'm going to leave the link to my Facebook. Okay, so I'm going to go and enjoy a pot of beans right here. Not even a pot, a bowl of beans. Y'all have a good one.